Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, we're back with even more of that glorious salt, courtesy of the PS5 Pro dropping. At the time of this recording, it is already out, of course, and so we're seeing the remnant effects of that, and boy, oh boy, do we have some fun stuff to get into here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to go over here is actually straight from Xbox themselves. This isn't really a salt thing, but I think it's just kind of super interesting and almost insanity, if you will, in regards to how this is playing out, in regards to Xbox first-party games getting more of a specialized treatment, and, you know, rightfully so, that's where the money's at. But before we go further, let's take a look here. Simple tweet or post on X from Xbox themselves stating, when every second counts, every frame matters, play Black Ops 6 in 4K at 60 FPS with the Xbox Series X, right? Promoting their own brand, that's great, but what's funny here is just afterwards we have plenty of articles, including Microsoft themselves, including the devs for Black Ops 6. They're stating that Black Ops 6 will be enhanced on PS5 Pro on November 7th. So, you know, I guess Xbox is right. Every frame does matter. You're going to get more consistent frames. You're going to get the better piece of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 performing the best anyways. In regards to the PlayStation 5 Pro, to me, that is just super interesting to hear about. Now, in the years coming, if the next Xbox handheld or console piece or whatever it ends up being is out, then you might have some more similarities, but I feel like this is a lot of damage in regards to what you're expecting as an Xbox fan, and that's what we're continuing to see, is many different reasons they still want to poke at PlayStation, of course. So let's continue on from this, and you're gonna see what I'm saying here. So now we're reverting back to something from the 2020 era here. If this doesn't ring a bell, if you haven't been on social media, here you go. But this is actually very, very recent, just the other day. XGamerKid packaging Series X $500 versus packaging on the PlayStation 5 Pro $920. First of all, where are they getting the $920 from? Did they upcharging themselves, or some sort of inflation I'm unaware of that's been going on? I'm kind of confused here, as opposed to the $700 price tag that is what the PlayStation 5 Pro is. Now, he's comparing packaging. That's where we're at here. Now, this was a big thing. A lot of the Xbox fanboys and shills and stuff on social media was really comparing packaging from the PlayStation 5 to the Xbox Series X. Super odd to compare two things to. You're there to play a console that gives you the most out of the bang for your buck, right? For those games. You know, the main thing you're supposed to be comparing things are what? The games. The games is what you compare, not the packaging. The packaging is what we're trying to delude ourselves to. That's how far they've fallen from grace, is they're comparing packaging. I can't say that or stress that enough. Absolutely insanity right there. That's where we're at. The PlayStation 5 Pro is the best place you can play our first-party Xbox games, and the best place you can play any of the other games in regards to console-wise. Now we're going to delude ourselves to packaging. That's where we're at, folks. That's how down bad these guys are. But let's continue, because we're not done there. Nope. We got RoboRat. We haven't featured him in quite some time because, again, if I lose too many brain cells too quick, I can't give out these videos in some sort of coherent manner. So we'll have to piece these out little by little, but RoboRat here, look at the stupid ponies buying COD and Dead Island 2, games available free to play on Game Pass, blah ha 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 all the way through. Why is it dumb to own your games? I just don't understand why it would be dumb to own your games permanently. If you love a game, not only do you just own the game, you actually support the devs, and you support the hobby that you supposedly love and cherish. In my opinion, that's what we're here for. We love and cherish those games. It's a hobby. It's the same thing again. If you're a hunter, if you're a fisherman, if you are into stock racing, if you are into any sort of hobby, you love that hobby. Not to the point where you're marrying cartridges or you're marrying your fishing pole, but you love the hobby, you enjoy it, it brings you happiness and joy out of life, in addition to anything else that might do that in your life as well. Why is it so odd that we choose to buy games, which in my opinion is the better option if you have the ability to do so? On top of that, let's break that other piece apart. He's comparing Dead Island 2 on Game Pass. Well, Dead Island 2, you moron, is also on PlayStation Plus Extra. That's right, it's on the cheaper version of Game Pass, which is PlayStation Plus Extra, which gives you a ton of games as well. Really comparable except for the day one exclusive games, which again, we've been there, done that. I don't agree with it. That's why Xbox is where it's at, in addition. But I don't know where you're trying to find a W here. There's no W. There's not. The major Call of Duty fans are wanting to buy that game. They're not going to always go over and be coerced over to Game Pass and rent the game, whether it makes sense to them or not. They like to buy those games. They like to own it. They feel good about it. They don't have to fill on a time limit or whatever the case may end up being or potentially end up being. But that is not the W you think it is. But we'll continue on here. The best part here is this post here. We're going back. So this is more damage controlling from Snap Blast here. Snap Blast Play. Hot take. Ray tracing has been the biggest red herring of this Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5 generation. 99% of people don't actually care and would much rather have 60 FPS, 120 frames per second. So of course he's going to downplay ray tracing, which I do have to admit, it's not the main focus of what something should be. Absolutely, the frame should be the primary focus, followed by resolution, then followed by any of the other bells and whistles you get in regards to ray tracing or whatever the case is. So, but you see the downplaying here. Like I showed in the last video, we had a couple examples of what ray tracing does in regards to just Alan Wake 2 alone, how much of a difference that is. It's a game changer in games like Spider-Man 2. It's a game changer in many other games that are going to be coming forth. You're going to see that in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. A lot of reports coming out. I've not, at this time of recording, got my hands on that, obviously, to do so and test that out and give you that honest opinion there. But a lot of people are saying, and a lot of outlets are saying, that it is, of course, looking really good, almost like a brand new game. That's how much implementation that ray tracing does do or offer to the experience and that immersion. It's so hilarious. They're all talking about monsters, right? Xbox eats monsters for breakfast, teraflops this, teraflops that. That's what they're talking about. It all matters. They can push this, they can push that, but now all that matters is just frames per second, guys. Don't worry about ray tracing. It doesn't matter. It's a red herring, right? It's, and it's not a hot take. It's a dumb take. It's not, a hot take has to be a really side-pieced, opinionated piece in regards to something that a lot of people don't agree with. But a lot of people agree that frames obviously are the first and foremost stock piece to gaming in the modern age, right? I really feel that way as well, frames per second. So again, kind of just taking that hot take away. This isn't a hot take. Frames per second is the cream de la crop. Everything else follows in the order that I mentioned. The resolution, the ray tracing, any other bells and whistles that come along with that. The fast loading, whatever the case may be, right? Really, really simple to understand here. Now, I can't spend any more time with the moronity of that, if that's a word. We're going to make that to word of the day. If we were part of the Pee Wee Herman house, the word of the day is going to be moronity. Let's trademark that, because we're running out of the same tropes and tried true tropes that we've been going through with these Xbox fanboys. But on top of that here, let's transition over to a special video here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Full disclosure though, in my last video, I said I was getting the PS5 Pro for 50 quid. It's actually £100. I was told yesterday evening, I think it was. But yeah. So I'm basically getting the PS5 Pro, the disc drive, for 200 quid. No, I've paid my $100 silver. You can pay your 700 though. You see, time is money, right? And my time is worth way more. And if I see a deal for $100, I'm gonna take it, even if it is. So, you enjoy yours for $700. I'll enjoy mine for $100. How does it make you feel that I'm paying $100 for a PS5 Pro? For a brand new in the box PS5 Pro, I'm paying $100 for it. I almost got away with $50, but it became $100. Paid for it, signed, sealed. I'm getting it in 2 days. How does that make you feel that you, as a loyal, gung-ho PS fan, are paying out the butthole for a console that ain't worth the money? And me here, who is not a loyal, gung-ho Sony fan, is only paying $100 and I'm getting the same hardware as you. How does that make you feel?
So I'm kind of confused here, folks. Is this some sort of gotcha moment? Is this some sort of gotcha moment where they're saying they got a better deal on the PlayStation 5 Pro, so they're better than everybody else? Everybody else went out and spent to the T $700 on this console. It's like this is the first person that finally figured out how trade-ins work, or how someone was able to trade in a previous console or maybe even their base PS5 towards a PlayStation 5 Pro. He thinks he got one up on everybody else. And then at the end, how do you feel? I feel great. I feel great. As a matter of fact, if you got it for cheaper and you got it via retail and pre-order and stuff like that, which means you're not getting it secondhand, that counts as an additional sale towards PlayStation, towards Sony, whatever the case is, towards the hardware sales, and you're going to see that reflective in hardware sales. So I feel great. So thank you for supporting a brand that delivers consistent quality as a whole. Thank you very much for that. I hope you feel great about that. I think it's great because I've not yet to this point felt compelled to own an Xbox Series S or X this gen. I didn't feel compelled to own a series, or sorry, not even a series, but an Xbox One. I didn't feel compelled to own an Xbox One X. I did not feel compelled to own any of those. Whether I got it for on the cheap or not, that's what's sad to see. I could have gotten an Xbox Series S pretty early in this generation for pennies on the dollar. There was an opportunity to get one for pennies on the dollar. And the way it worked out, and I still didn't get one. But you feel compelled to get a PlayStation 5 Pro because you know you would be missing out. And it's a great piece of hardware, and it's a great ecosystem. So the question is, how do you feel? That's my question to you. But that being said, let's do one more piece here. One more piece here. This is just to leave off on. This is what I was kind of talking about in regards to Digital Foundry from the last video, in regards to Call of Duty Black Ops, and what they were talking about as a whole in regards to the PlayStation 5 Pro and its performance on there. Go ahead and let's take a look.
Also, in line with recent Call of Duty titles, Series X tends to drop more regularly in the campaign. In the main shootouts of Mission 2 across this marketplace, there are obviously drops into the 50s on PS5, but in switching to the Series X version, they tend to be much more aggressive and more frequent. But it does mean for those without VRR, you will get a smoother playthrough on PS5.
I knew it.
Alright, and as you can see, again, just more proof to back it up. I just kind of want to put some more salt on the wounds of the last gentleman there. So my question is, again, at the end of that video is, how do you feel that you got a competing platform that is running your first-party games on Xbox? Since you're such a fanboy, how do you feel about getting the experience of a lifetime in regards to the console version being the best version on the PlayStation 5 when, again, that's your first-party Xbox game? And that's not going to be the last Xbox first-party game that's going to be performing very much, you know, the cream de la crop again on what's considered a better piece of hardware, the PlayStation 5 Pro. You're going to see that consistently. You're going to see it with Indiana Jones. You're going to see it when Flight Simulator 2024 more than likely gets announced, and any other future Xbox first-party game getting announced on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Your game called Avowed, I know you're aware of that. That's what, 30 frames per second, even on the Xbox Series X, and the rhetoric behind that, the excuse is the devs are just lazy. Are they going to be lazy if that gets ported over to the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it ends up being 60 frames per second? Are they going to be lazy then? What's the goalpost shifting and narrative going to look like then? definitely let me know, because I would love to hear from you on that point. But on top of that, folks, we have plenty of those delusional cases that we just showed today. There's going to be even more Fallout as usual. So I appreciate you sticking around for the entirety of the video. We will wrap it up right here. There's plenty more to be had as the future videos are coming out, so believe you me. That being said, again, thank you all so much for your support. We are getting super close to that 2,500 subscriber goal, so thank you so much. I honestly never knew if this channel would get there, but your guys' support has been amazing. I'm glad you enjoy the content, or at least so I'm told by you all, so thank you again. If you haven't already, definitely leave a like and a comment. Would love to hear from you. That also helps out the algorithm. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. That helps out a small content creator like myself, and we can continue to grow and do more. And I'm excited to take that journey with you all. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see you all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.